before you go?
course.
So welcome to the first ever Bizarre Web Chat in the brand new Sun Studios. It's the first ever, so we thought we'd get the biggest guests we could possibly get, and they don't come much bigger than Hollywood legend Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold,
Thank you.
Would you like to do the honours
Yes.
and cut the ribbon? There it is.
All right. Very nice.
Thank you very much. Take them back from me. Have a seat, Arnold. Have a seat.
Good, thank you.
So Arnold, we hope that you might bring...
what do we have in here? Right now, nothing.
Would you like a drink?
Okay, God, I mean, this is unbelievable. What a beginning. Empty.
Would you like something strong, or would you like something...
Water would do.
A
London water.
I'll tell you what, I'll get you a water.
No problem. Someone is getting it. I see already Ketchel getting the water.
Arnold, we hope that you might bring us some Californian sunshine, but you've brought some Austrian winter.
But this is actually good. This
Yeah?
is the snow for the... I think it must be one of the first times that I've been to London. There's actual snow. It looks pretty.
Yeah,
It looks nice.
yeah. And The Last Stand, I went to see it last night, your new film. It's your first leading role for about 7 years or so?
Actually, 10 years. The
10
last movie that I came out with was Terminator 3 in 2003, and then right after we were finished promoting that film, I ran for governor, and 2 months later I became governor, and so for 7 years I was in that office. And so this is the first starring role now after 10 years. And before this movie, I did another film which was with Sylvester Stallone, The Expendables. So that was kind of a warm-up, and I went from Bulgaria directly to New Mexico shooting The Last Stand.
And how is it being back in the saddle in the acting? Is it good
It's
making a
great.
return?
It's terrific, you know, it's like I never left. It's like riding a bicycle, you know, you get right back into it again. And it was a fun director to work with, Kim Ji-woon from South Korea. He's kind of the king of action movies in Asia.
Yeah.
And so we thought of bringing him over and to work together with the American talent, bring those two things together, and they created a really unique look in a movie.
And your co-stars, you've got Johnny Knoxville in this film with you, the Jackass star. Did he play any pranks on you when you were shooting?
No, because I forbid him.
Right.
I told him that payback will be very painful.
Yeah.
So anyway, but he was terrific. You see, the interesting thing is when you work with someone like Johnny Knoxville, you know, all these Jackass movies and all this, when you do a stunt, the more it fails, the more successful it is, right? Because that's what people laugh at when you get hurt and when they fail and all this. Well, I said to him, now a movie has to be a little different. I said, because now movie things have to work.
Yeah.
Then they shouldn't fail. So he has to change his attitude about the whole thing. But he was very funny to work with, and he has some really good comic relief in the film. So I really enjoyed working with him.
Did they ever shout your catchphrnes at you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can't get away from that.
Right, yeah.
I'll be back and get the chopper. Oh, it's not a tumor. Yeah. It's not a tumor. Fuck you, asshole. That's the natural. You know?
I just apologise if anybody was offended by Arnold's language. I noticed, Arnold, in the film there are 2 possible new catchphrases in this as well. I'm the sheriff, I think was...
I'm the sheriff, and then retirement is for sissies. So yeah, you have some good lines there.
And welcome to summertime was a good one.
That's right, yeah, welcome to Summerton. Yeah.
So we'll bash on with some of the questions from our readers now, if you don't mind, Arnold. First one up here. Returning back full-time to making movies, what have you found to be the most notable change in the business, or yourself?
Well, I think that, first of all, with myself, it's 10 years later, so you're wiser. I think the experience as a governor, sitting there every day and facing all the problems and the challenges, makes you a more interesting person. You're smarter. It was the greatest learning experience, and I think you bring that to the acting, and therefore you become a better actor. I think that the biggest changes in the movie business that I've seen is that the movie business has now become a global business. That not all the movies anymore are shot in Hollywood. They're shot all over the world. The financing comes from all over the world. Movies have to play really well all over the world in order to make the money back. So it really has become a global industry. And to me, that's, of course, very welcome, because I think movies ought to be shown everywhere.
Yeah.
But you have to then, therefore, choose the scripts and the stories in such a way that you don't think just about the American audience, but to think of an international audience. And I have a big advantage with that because I come from Europe. I've traveled the world over and over, so I know there's more different mentalities out there than just the American mentality.
You must have had a mountain of scripts waiting for you to make your comeback. How did you make the decision to do The Last Stand?
There are many scripts, but it's a combination of things of the story itself, and number two, who is the director, and I wanted to work with Kim Ji-woon, and number three, who are the producers? I mean, this producer, Bonaventura, I've worked with before when he was an executive at Warner Brothers, and so I trusted him, and I knew that he is going to be fighting for the project and to make sure that we get a quality film going, and that's exactly what happened. So I had relationships that helped also to choose that particular script.
Sure. We've got a question here from Matt Attio. He says, have you considered more comedy roles, maybe like a Kindergarten Cop 2?
Well, actually, they're writing right now Twins number 2, which will be with Eddie Murphy, will be called Triplets. And so you figured out how it could be all from the same sperm. Danny DeVito, Eddie Murphy, and myself. So, but that's what makes it the comedy, right? But so they're going to work on that. We're also going to work on another Conan. Another Conan film is being written for me, and another Terminator movie is going to be written for me. But I enjoy doing comedies because it's another great form of entertainment. People love comedies.
You talk about Conan and Terminator, that big physical parts. How's your body holding up?
Good. I mean, the lucky thing is that I have been working out my whole life. In the early days when I came to London regularly, competing in the Mr. Universe contest here, I became the youngest Mr. Universe with the age of 20 right here in London. So London was kind of a springboard for my career, for my international career. That's why I always love coming back to London. I love London. I always, love to bring people here to London to come and visit. My children came when we watched the Olympics this last summer, which were terrific. So my son is here with me this time again on this trip. So I think the world of this place, and it's for me, I think, great when you get to travel around with movies like that and to go to the promotion all over the world with movies and all this. So I'm having a great time.
Yeah, good one here. I'm sure every actor has one, but is there a particular film that you in any way regret doing?
There were many movies that I have regretted doing. Because you never know.
Yeah.
When you get into a movie, you think this is a great script or this is going to work out well, and then the movie goes right in the toilet. So then, you just get up and get going again. I mean, it's like you can't have a life with just successes. When you come from the sports background like before I bench pressed 500 pounds, I failed many times in the attempt. And that's how you get there.
Yeah.
And so the same is with movies. You pick scripts and you have to be daring with the kind of people you work with and the kind of stories you do. And some will fail and some will be successful. There's really no science behind the whole thing.
I'm still struggling with that 500 pounds as well. Just about there.
You will get there, don't worry about it.
Thank you.
I can see your chest is all pumped up.
Yeah.
The chest of a fortress.
Move that one on, Arnie. Did you feel unbelievably cool when you played the Terminator?
Oh yeah, I think it's a really cool character. The trick with Terminator was, the way it was written was that it was, a machine, very one-dimensional kind of. But when Jim Cameron and I got together and we talked about the character, we always felt like there's a way of doing it and portraying the character so that even though it's a villain and a machine that destroys everything, that it could be played in a somewhat hip way, that people are actually cheering when I do the evil things.
Yeah.
And so that was really the challenge, and we were successful in doing that. I remember when we had a big screening for the police department in Los Angeles, and they saw the scene where I go inside a police station in LA and they tear out all the wires and there's a blackout out inside the station, and then when the police officers start running out, I kill everybody, and they were applauding at the end of the scene. So, because it was done in a hip way, in a snappy way, and not in an evil way. So there's a certain way of acting it that makes it really cool rather than evil. And that's what I was trying to accomplish, and we were successful in doing that.
Sure. Where's the most unusual place you've had one of your catchphrases repeated to you?
In really weird places. I mean, I was sitting one time in a toilet, and all of a sudden next door I heard a loud fart, and then I heard the toilet flushing, and then someone spitting, and then all of a sudden, "I'll be back." And the door opened up, and I said, that figures in the toilet, you're getting your lines delivered, So it's really weird places.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting with those lines, because you don't know when you do the movie that this is going to be a really interesting line, or that people will repeat. Like when we did the "I'll be back," I had no idea this is going to be a hot line. And then when I did the movie, and I remember I was walking around in New York, and some guy came up to me and he says, "Hey Arnold, repeat that line from Terminator." And I said, "What line?" "You know, the one, the 'I'll be back' line." And I said, "I'll be back." And he said, No. You say it the way you say it in the movies." And I said, "All right, I'll be back." And I said, "Yeah, that's the way." So I could tell that this is a line that's going to stick, And so that's how those things get developed. So you have no idea when you do the movie that's going to be a hot line.
Yeah. I've always wanted to write a book about the most famous person people have been to the toilet beside, right? While you're talking about toilets. Because I once had a pee beside Sean Connery. Who's the most famous person you've been to the toilet beside at Urino?
I think that I've been to the toilet with presidents, with political leaders, with famous actors, with great athletes, all kinds of people.
And do they ask you when you're there?
We hold each other. Anyway, no.